Imagine leaving your room, traveling to the farthest reaches of the universe, and returning before your bed even has time to cool. In 7th century Arabia, one man described exactly that. The journey began on a quiet night in the ancient city of Mecca, with the Prophet Muhammad resting near the Kaaba. From there, the first leg of his journey, known as the Isra, took him instantly to Jerusalem. To critics of the era, this was an impossible claim. Even with today's understanding of astrophysics, crossing just a tiny fraction of space requires thousands of light years. But if we look past the poetry and examine the specific mechanics described in the account, we find a sequence of events that mirrors modern theoretical physics, raising a startling question about how time and space actually behave. The Quran outlines a specific celestial pathway used by angels. It states that they travel a distance in a single day that would take humans 50,000 years to cross. Applying the Lorentz transformation to this ratio of 1 day to 50,000 years lands precisely at the speed of light. But the Prophet's journey shattered that limit. He ascended beyond the known universe, yet instead of 50,000 years, he was gone mere hours. To cover that immense distance within a fraction of a single night, he had to travel trillions of times faster than light. At those velocities, conventional physics completely breaks down. The extreme speed means that while he experienced the vastness of the heavens, the normal flow of earthly time effectively stopped. The Mi'raj describes an ascent through 7 heavens. Rather than a simple flight through open space, this mirrors the transition across hidden higher dimensions. Islamic cosmology defines the first heaven as containing everything in our known universe. Every star, black hole, and galaxy is enclosed within this single layer. Brane theory suggests our universe functions like a membrane floating within a larger multidimensional space. To travel between stacked universes, you need a specific passage, a wormhole. Similarly, the Prophet and Gabriel couldn't just fly higher. They required access through exact dimensional gateways. The texts describe each heaven as unfathomably larger than the one below it. The first heaven is like a tiny ring in an endless desert, compared to the second. This is a leap through expanding dimensions of reality. They continued upward through the remaining heavens, encountering angels of incomprehensible scale, and reuniting with past prophets like Musa and Ibrahim. Finally, they reached the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the lote tree of the farthest limit. This marks the absolute boundary of creation. Beyond this point, all dimensions, physical laws, and angelic travel come to a dead stop. 4 rivers flow from the base of this cosmic tree. 2 remain hidden in the celestial realm, but the Prophet identified the 2 visible ones as directly connected to Earth. The first is the Nile, and the second flows as the earthly Euphrates, grounding this vast, extra-dimensional architecture back to the cradle of human civilization. Here, at the summit of existence, the Prophet entered into direct conversation with Allah. In an act of divine mercy, the burden of daily prayers for humanity was reduced from 50 down to 5. The lote tree marks the terminus of all information and causality. Beyond its branches, the variables that define our physical existence, distance, time, and mass, simply cease to be measurable. Then the cosmic journey concluded. The Prophet found himself instantly back in Mecca just before dawn. While he had traversed the entire universe, only a few hours had passed on Earth. By morning, the town leaders, spearheaded by Abu Jahl, mocked his claim. To test him, they demanded he describe Jerusalem, a city he had never visited. The Prophet silenced them by recounting the exact number of gates and the precise architectural details of the sacred mosque. But the true, irrefutable proof was still approaching the city. He described 3 specific trade caravans he had bypassed on his descent back to Earth. He detailed a lost camel, a shattered container, and a water bottle he drank from. On the exact day he predicted, those caravans arrived. Every single detail matched his description perfectly, cementing the absolute faith of early believers like Abu Bakr. Whether interpreted through the lens of faith or the mathematics of higher dimensions, the night journey places 7th century reality against a backdrop of cosmic scale, a reminder that what we perceive is only a sliver of what exists.